All right. So I'm actually really excited for this week's episode here. I'm going to be doing an electronic track, and it's not done quite yet, but it's getting there. It's getting to be pretty finished, and I'm actually really excited for this. I basically I'm going to put some lyrics in here. I'm not sure if I'm going to do two verses, but it's going to be just 8 bars in each section. But let's just play it because I did do a little bit of this in one of my other lives that I did with you guys, and it was just a piano riff and a synth and this guitar, and I wasn't really sure where I was going with it, but now I've got pretty much everything down the way I like it. So let's give it a listen, all right? All right. It's pretty much all in there. All right, let's go. Let's play it from here. Ready? Okay, so this part was originally this right here. See how it's like all over the place in volume? So I did a lot of processing to it. I clipped the peaks off, made it a little bit more even there. Did all of this processing to get this finally. And then I still did some more processing after that. This is called Melda Auto Gain, I think. It's something to do with basically it's like what's the Waves equivalent? Vocal Rider. It's like Vocal Rider, but I can use it on anything. And it just keeps everything in a nice range. Well, with the filter being all over the place with this specific sound, because it's obviously being super filtered to get this sound to sound like this. So it's like a flange, a phaser, a bunch of different stuff, some column filtering going on. I use Stutter Edit to get this, and I forget which setting I put it on. It's somewhere in here, but where is it? Maybe it's it's on the first one. It's right here. Boom, right here. Let's check out what I did. Unnamed. Okay, I made my own. It was comb filtering, distortion, and a low pass swelling filter. All right, so that's pretty cool. And then once I got the waveform nice and even, I knew that with the waveform being even, the lows would be significantly lower than the highs, or you'd hear the highs more than the lows technically. So I wanted to put a tilt EQ on that, and then I wanted to accent it a little bit more right there. So now if we take this and we listen to this without this, now I'll take the same phrase. It sounds a bit more fat and more consistent throughout that whole little riff. It's really cool. I really like how I did that. Now there's obviously some stuff happening with the drop here. Let's solo this out here. Some very exaggerated drums, right? And then we have this square wave thing happening that I really like. It's only happening certain parts. And like that's not on time on purpose. It's a little early and a little late. I wanted it to be somewhat similar to the piano that I have going on in the verses. So I wanted the similar out of time feel. So I didn't quite I kind of made this here. Let's look at how far off time it actually is. That's kind of on. That's not on, but as you can see, it's just a little bit off time on the second note here, and that's it. And I think maybe that's the only, oh no, one right here too. And yep, that's the only one. So just the second note is just a little bit out of time, and it gives it this weird little vibe, you know? And then we can listen to it with the drop. Now if we add the bass in here, which is just a sine wave. What is going on? Why is it only playing? Something's going on. Sometimes these plugins do some weird things. Okay. What? No. Now let's listen to this. Oh, this is a cool sound. Listen to this. Let's see what the whole sound actually was. I think it was just, this is an effect that that OTT gave everything. Let's just listen to this here. Okay, it's not a cool sound, but I like that little. I thought that was really cool, so I kept just that out of that, and I just chopped out that audio. What is this? What is this? Let's see what this is. Oh, that is this sound. I made a whole bunch. See, like when I was doing this, it wasn't like I wasn't trying to make something crazy like that. I was literally making this. Now let's stutter edit. He's going to call me in a little while. Sorry, I had to send that text. It is Grip, actually. So if you follow any of my other lives and you like Grip's music, I got some cool new ones coming up very soon. You're gonna hear "It's Only Me," and that is gonna be one that I want to bring up on the live here too. I just gotta tidy things up before I just open it up. You know, I want it to not be boring. So, like this one kind of is. So let's decipher how I made this drop. All right, so here's the original drop. Where is the vital? Let me find the actual MIDI. Is this it? Nope, that's the bass. Okay, let's look at this. See, this added some bass to it, but just not enough. All right. So here's the cool thing. So let's turn Morph EQ off and just see what I got here. Okay, so this is just repeating everything by its just repeating everything 4 times, except at the end here it goes a little different. Oops. And that's a cool little transition back into the piano. I like it. This is kind of almost a random thought that I had in my head. I made the build, right? I made the build first, and then when I got done with the build, I was like, it's a vibe. And I recorded that. And so then after I recorded that, I kind of edited it just so that it was perfectly in time and sounded dope and deep, just like I heard it in my head. And then I didn't have any idea for the drop, so I just like, as it played, I just was listening to it, and then after "It's a Vibe," I was just like, wham, 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 wham. I just said that verbally out loud with like my mouth, and then I decided I was gonna try to make that wonk, and came out this. But this is the Morph EQ that I had drawn. It was just a low pass suite, but I did something a little interesting. So let's pull up the automation for it. Show automation. Okay, now we get to look at this. Okay, so this is why I like Morph EQ. It takes hours of automation and makes it down to seconds. Okay, so where did I use that part? It looks like we just repeated it a whole bunch, all right? So where would I use that? I think I used it right here. Let's check it out. Oh yeah, I did. I used it just right here. Ooh, I heard an error here. It's this right here. Ooh, that did not sound pleasant. Let's do this, right? Let's just try stuff. Let's just see how that sounds. Mm-mm. What if I just did this? Okay. Maybe that's the ticket right there. Just delete it. You know what I'm saying? What if we just delete it? Let's go in here and see what's going on. What's popping and cracking on this frontier here. Okay, okay, okay. Whoa! So much smoother. It's a vibe. Okay, so for starter edit, I used so many different settings. I wasn't sure what I used it on. I know Chunky Monkey was one of them, but there's all these different sections that I rendered out, and not all of them are the same. That's why it all sounds so good. It's because it was all different little things. You know, I used to wonder how artists used to be like, how do I get all them different sounds, man? There's so many sounds. But it's really just them taking the same sound and warping it, or the same idea, same notes, and using other pre-made sounds that they already have. You know, and then after I started developing my own sounds, my own taste, I realized I don't need too many sounds. I just need to know how to warp the sounds, really, and that really led me to some cool experimental stuff like this. I'm just trying to like do some like house cleaning here. If that makes any sense, just get rid of all these boxes that are unnecessary at the moment. I can't wait to show you guys some of the stuff that's in the works. I mean, I don't have permission to show a lot of it right now, so it's going to be a little difficult. But in the future, the near future. Oh, I did this a whole bunch of times too. You want to see this? Okay, so where's the good one? The one that's like very good. This is the one. Okay, so this is the one I recorded on the MacBook speaker, and I just edited out all of the noise I didn't want. It's a vibe. But I didn't get the B quite enough there, so here's exactly that. It's a vibe. I redid it. I got a very similar waveform on my mic over here, just standing kind of far away from it. And I tried it a whole bunch of times. Like, look, I didn't get similar waveforms at all. Because I was saying it different, man. It didn't sound right. Like, listen to this one. It just doesn't sound. I don't know if that processing. It's a vibe. It just didn't sound right. And then I did this. I could do this and make it sound different. It's a vibe. But just this end sounds weird. So what I had to do to make it sound good. This is the terrible part. It's like, just if you what happens if you didn't know, like okay, what happens if you didn't know what to do, how to fix and how to make what's in your head in here? Like that's what I never understood like when I was learning this, is I wanted to know how to get in here and put it out there. That's the interesting part. I've been just trying to, now that I know what I'm doing, I think what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna put like I'm gonna drop the pitch. We're gonna see what happens. It's a vibe. See, it didn't do anything, but that's probably because we're in Melodyne, huh? Okay, yeah. Okay, so now what we need to do is we need to do this. We need to go back into the clip view. We need to delete all that. Okay. We're going to freeze this. We're going to see if we can make this into this similar sound. Like, this is what I was dealing with the other day. I was like struggling because I was like, dude, it's 3 fucking words. Like, what am I supposed to like how can I not get it to sound the way I want? And I was struggling so hard. It was probably how far back I was from the mic, how I was saying it. I had a little bit more rasp in it when I was in my truck with my computer. So I mean, I suppose it was a little different, but to be honest, we're going to go through the motions here and just see if we can make it sound like, see, now I'm getting more of a similar waveform like this, but I still want to drop because it doesn't sound right. Listen.
It's a vibe.
At the end, you can hear my voice come back up, right? So I want to try to just right at the end here, I want to drop it down 12 semitones, and then we're going to put it on warp mode complex pro. Now let's listen.
It's a vibe.
And see, now I can play with that and get it to sound a bit lower, maybe even go up a bit higher, and then do something like this. Oh, come on. Do what I want.
It's a vibe.
Okay, that's too much, as you can see. So you can start playing with the, with what's right.
It's a vibe.
Okay, a little bit higher.
It's a vibe.
There it is. I mean, we could probably even go something like this.
It's a vibe. It's a vibe.
That's better. I like that. I like that.
It's a vibe.
Now, the original one from the car sounded like this.
It's a vibe.
But I didn't get that B good enough, so...
It's a vibe.
And I pitched this one up a little bit higher because I think it fit with the beat a bit better.
It's a vibe.
See, I want to add some lyrics right there. Yeah. See, that tilt EQ added a whole lot, didn't it? Okay, so I use Morph EQ on almost every electronic track and almost every track now just to add movement. Like, listen to what it does to this synth. Here, just listen. Let's look at the EQ while it's doing it. This is so cool. I love Morph EQ. This is what the EQ looks like. And that's sick. Add that piano in. Let's start. Let's just play the whole song again from the beginning. We'll look at the mix bus now. See what I got going on down here. Oh, that sounded weird. Let's play it over. Oh, I'm not playing the entire track. I'm a freaking idiot. I even got lyrics in my head now. Notice I'm just taking a little bass away. Run through for the box tone. Some bass here. Okay, so now what we're going to do is we're going to experiment around with mix bus compression. And this is why I don't like to use compression on my electronic tracks. It makes them sound squashed. I mean, that's what compression does, but it... Anyway, let's get into it, okay? We're going to open up a plugin here. We're going to go to Plugin Alliance, and we're going to grab... I like the Shadow Hills mastering compressor. It's one of my favorite ones to use. And we're going to use it right before this EQ here. Actually, I'm going to put it after the box tone. All right. Okay, we're going to bring this behind here. All right. So this is adding some bass. This is going to be interesting. Okay, we'll start out keeping the compressor here. I want the side chain on, and I want it on nickel. Now I'm going to put the side chain filter at like 200 something, all right? And we are going to mess with compression. So we're going to start out in the drop.
It's a vibe. It's a vibe.
Oh my gosh, are you hearing this right now? Listen how warm and thick that sounds. What? This is the first time I've had great it's probably because I balanced it first. Okay, so usually when I'm okay, so this is a process change for me now, because when I'm mastering something, I usually like to clip all my transients, give me some sort of semblance of more of an even waveform, if you will. And then what I like to do is I like to try to compress the waveform as much as possible without making some audible distortion. And I'm usually using this now because I like the way it sounds lately, and this made it sound fat. Usually I was getting more of a crushed feeling or crushed sound when I was compressing it with other compressors, and I haven't really attempted to use the Shadow Hills on any electronic tracks because I just haven't had amazing luck with compression with it. And I mean, obviously it's because, you know, settings and the right compressor for the right job, but this actually sounds great. So listen with it off again.
It's a vibe.
And it sounds good. It sounds great. Don't get me wrong. But now listen, it just gets a little bit fatter and sounds a bit more like it's got some oomph behind it.
It's a vibe.
So I'll turn it off. Here, listen, I'm going to turn it off in the middle and you're going to hear a drastic difference.
It's a vibe.
And now we can probably get some more level here. Let's listen.
It's a vibe. It's a vibe.
Let's hear how the rest of the track sounds. Turn the output gain down overall. And I don't want this to be like a 50-50 mix.
It's a vibe. It's a vibe. It's a vibe. It's a vibe. It's a vibe.
All right. All right. Let's see what this sounds like without it.
It's a vibe.
Okay, so hold up here. Let's solo. It adds a bit of movement. You got some broken tube in there. Okay. What was I doing that day, man? That sounds creative. Man. When I'm into it, man, I get real creative. Okay. We're gonna look at the title of this. Let's see what this is. Okay, so this is just a square wave, but I've got 16 unisons of it, so it sounds really cool. Like this. Here, listen. That sounds cool. It'd be cool as like a bass instrument too. Like let's play it. Yeah, right. We could even go lower. Let's try to go lower. Let's make it low. Drop it low. As you can see, it'd be a cool bass sound. And whatever happened to Sub XL? Like I had the new version of it, and it just stopped working on me. And they gave me a beta, but I downloaded it, never installed it, and now I just never used it anymore. Man, I probably should use it. It made the bass in one of the grip songs that I did. Anyway, I like this so far. I do want to put some lyrics in here, like right here. Let's unsolo it. Okay, now without this cool sound effect that I made, it sounds like this. Like it's good. Just don't get me wrong, but like adding this to it just made all the difference. It just sounds so weird and wonky, and adding it to the drum groove. think I EQ'd the kick. It just sounded good. But this kick is definitely EQ'd to hit. But it's like crazy. So much bass. I just really, when I mixed it, I needed that bass presence in it. And I probably dropped it down in mastering and the mix bus and a bunch of processing afterwards. Excuse me. But, and this snare's already got the reverb cooked into it from another track. Excuse me. You can really see this kick here. And you can see the off time right here. And here. And see, I try to make it so that when I have notes that are slightly off time or like early or late, I try to make it so that all the other notes around it are perfectly in time. So that it doesn't feel, I mean, unless you want that feeling of it kind of feeling behind. And sometimes you do, especially on like electronic music and different types of that. But anyway, moving on. I like to use just a solid bass, like sine tone. And I cut out where the kick was going to be pretty much in every single one of these. As you can see, it kind of as the kick kind of leaves, this kind of swells in to take over. And that's how the track ends so far. I mean, I haven't made anything further beyond this. I've just got like this drums here, these drums here, some builds, some risers. It's pretty much the whole track. Like, it's nothing special right now, except for the drop. The drop is really groovy, if you ask me. But you know, it doesn't always start out like that. I want to find. Let's go back into the vital again of that. And let's see what I started out with, because it wasn't this. I think what I tried to do is I tried to take the MIDI of that guitar, and then it didn't work, and I tried to use the notes in that MIDI. Here, let's take this, drag it over, and yeah. And then I started making stuff with the notes that were already in here, and it was just failed so many times before I got something cool, right? And so eventually I got something cool. It turned out to be this repeated a whole bunch of times. Let's go in vital and start shutting stuff off, alright? Here. Let's shut this off, let's shut this off. And as you can see, it's nothing special. I have all of these linked to different effects and as you can see, the chorus and the distortion really, really, really make this patch. Now, it's these sloped here, these bends that really make the wonk, the wobble and wonk. And then you got your EQ that you're obviously going to be messing with. I'm going to show the automation again so that so after you render it out to audio and a bunch of different pieces, you get so then we got that, right? Well, then I was like, that's not cool enough in the right moment. So I threw this set of plugins on there that I made. And now let's see how Isn't that crazy? Now let's listen to this without it. As you can see, there's still some flanger on this, and maybe there isn't. It's just that's just EQ. So now we add the flanger. It gives it some side to side. You know what I mean? And I like what we've done here today so far. So I'm going to save it, we're going to export it, and we're going to look at the waveform, all right? And then I think we're going to call it quits for the night. So if anybody's still watching, that's all you get right now. But I do plan on making a video, so stay tuned, okay? What was I going to do? Okay, we're going to export it. It's a Vibe 20. All right. So let's export this. And once we export it, we're going to... So once we export it, I'm going to check out the waveform and see if it's consistent enough for my liking. We're going to open it up in RX, and we're going to check it out and see what I have to do to it to finish the mastering process. Because to be honest with you, I can do the rest of it in RX. So I'll export it right here as a mix. Then I'll bring it into RX to look for stuff that I might want to change about the waveform. Then I'll render out those pieces once I get the waveform just the way I like it. And then I will, because we did a bunch of mix bus processing, compression, limiting, I will probably just format it out from there. But obviously, this song isn't done yet because I haven't sang the lyrics that I haven't fully written yet. I mean, I've got some ideas still. Maybe. I might scrap them. But if I do, it's whatever. But I still want that vocal melody. I still want to make that. You know what I mean? Oh man, I hate when it does this. Look, it just takes forever. Oh man. It's been a long day, you know? It's been a very long day. And we're done. All right, let me get it up. Okay, so now we scroll all the way down to the bottom. We've got something that was limited, something that's not so limited. Oh, shoot. We just did the drop. Okay, we are going to re-export it. And it's going to take the entirety of this video. Whatever. It's awesome when it does stuff like this. I don't know. You think I should release this song? If you think I should release this song, leave a comment. There's a lot of songs I'm probably never gonna release. I've got like 50 or so written and recorded, produced mainly. They probably still need a ton of mixing work, a ton of editing work. I don't have the time. You know, I mean, I guess I might have the time if I ever slow down and everything else I'm doing. But I just keep adding more to my plate. I just keep adding more and more and more and more. So let's talk about grip for a second. All right, so if you're in the Atlanta, Georgia area, there's going to be a show out there. There's going to be a show. Grip's going. A few other people are going to be there. I can't reveal the names quite yet, but it's going to be up for sale, and I'll have a link posted in my videos and on my channel very shortly. I'll be promoting it heavily, so if you get sick of it, I'm sorry. Anyway, it's going to be a fun hip hop event. If you like hip hop, I would definitely go and check it out. There's going to be some new artists, some old artists, and my artist. All right. So anyway, let's get back to this. We're going to see what the waveform looks like in about 2.2. 2.2. Okay, maybe not that quick, but like, come on. 8, 9, 100. Yay. Okay. Now. Whoa. Look at how fat that waveform is. Let's open it up in RX. Man, I got a whole bunch of crap open right now. Alright. So we're going to exit this again. And we're going to open it again, alright? Open it in RX. I feel like I'm the only one here right now in the room. But that's okay. Some of y'all will catch this later, alright? We're going to zoom in here to see how bad this is crushed. And it doesn't look like it's crushed very, very bad at all. We're getting some good sound. And 11.2. So we're getting some better loudness. But still not where I'm normally hitting. Normally I'm hitting like 7 7 LUFS and just really crushing it. Now, I don't know why. These are obviously drum hits. And normally I would like clip these peaks off right here. But it would ruin the impact of this right here. So a more dynamic song is alright sometimes, but other times I really, really like to squash the shit out of it. You know? I get a lot louder on my rock and hip hop tracks. My hip hop tracks always hit like -8, -7. My rock tracks always hit like -7, -6. I have not yet found a way to make very dynamic electronic tracks higher than like -9. It's as high as I can get it for some reason. I mean, there's one of the tracks that I did, but it's severely limited and crushed because that's what I like. The sound sounded good at that point. So I don't know. Anyway, we're about done. We got 5 minutes left. I think we did a good job. I think we set out and accomplished what we wanted to accomplish. And I'm betting that with this newly formed waveform that this is going to sound a whole lot more full against all the other records when I play them back together. So let's just kind of recap what we did here today. So with this mix bus compressor, let's look at that. All right, this mix bus compressor. Now, obviously, it compressed a lot of the high end, but it also compressed a lot of the low end. But what was left when we were done compressing the signal was a darker version of what we had, but everything was just fatter. The cymbals swelled a bit more, the high end was crispier. So all I did was put a little tilt EQ on the high end and made it go up a little bit, and that was it. Made it across all channels, stereo, So then I got the limiter on, and this was my mastering chain, and I did it on the mix bus in the mix session. Normally I don't do this. Normally I am actually all about exporting the track, clipping it, looking at the waveform every step of the way. But I didn't do that on this one or another electronic track that I've been doing. In fact, a lot of electronic tracks or heavy influence electronic tracks, I am making the mix. Sound design, everything's just so perfectly fitting in there that if I add too much after the fact and bring it into a new session, it just doesn't sound as good as it does just exported. So I've been just doing my mix bus compression or whatever I do, my limiting and my box tones and EQ, balancing of the track right there on the mix bus in the mix session. I found that works really good, and I get a really, really, really good mix and a good master after the fact, because after that I'm just formatting it. But with rock and hip hop songs, and pop, I still have to export the mix, then master it. It gives me a lot of insight into what is happening with the speakers. Now this is crazy. I don't think I need to know what's happening with the speakers when I'm creating this. This is crazy and hard to follow, but I can spot phasing issues in rock tracks. This, you're counting on phase. You're counting on weird stuff to happen, so you hear interesting things. So I don't know. Electronic music is a whole new animal. I'm loving what I'm getting into in the sound design aspect of it. So stay tuned. I'm going to come out with a video this week. I'll probably record it tomorrow because I have to get to the bank today. Anyway, more news about Grip and the show coming up in Atlanta. I'll talk about it. I'll post about it. I'll post about it on Threads and Instagram, all platforms everywhere. Thanks for watching. I'll see you guys next week.